Welcome to the Entrepreneurship Networking Program. Your host, Mwila Jonathan Puku, and tonight we'll be talking to one of the Zicta Innovation Challenge winners, Mr. Twiza Sichula, on his project, which is actually going to change Zambia and actually the world. Welcome, Mr. Twiza Sichula.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. Mwila.
We're very blessed to have you on this show, and as you know that technology is one thing that is there to actually develop the economic sector in Zambia, and it cannot actually be put aside.
Yes.
So it's very good that we have innovations such as yourself, that is actually trying to help and bridge the gap that we've been having for a long time. So we'll just run quickly because people are asking what project is Mr. Twiza, or what project Mr. Twiza made, and how can they be helped? As you know, this is an SME-based group program, so it's very, very important that actually give us a description of your project. So briefly tell us your project, what is it about, and what can you do?
Thank you very much. So my team and I are have currently built a startup called Bargain Bay. So what Bargain Bay does is that it is digitizing traditional marketplaces such as the Soweto Market, Kasumbalesa, Tuesday Market, and we are turning those markets into an app.
Okay.
So what is going to happen is that, some people and vendors alike, for many years, since many years ago, vendors and people and businesses used to go to the Soweto Market and procure these things. And, there's a lot of crowds, there's mud and everything. So we thought, how can we turn this into an app, and how can we make the ordinary vendor who's positioned and stationed at one location, how can they have a wider market out there and access a lot of people? So what we're doing is that we've created a platform where we're interlinking the physical vendor to become a digital merchant.
Perfect.
And the consumer to buy directly from the Soweto Market, Kasumbalesa, and other 40 markets around the country, to buy from those markets at the same market price and have those commodities delivered to them.
Perfect. So it will be like running like if someone is sitting on a different zone, let's say maybe at Kasumbalesa, you're able to locate which market is nearest to you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's location based. So it's
Location-based.
basically an Amazon for vendors.
Perfect.
Traditional market vendors.
So is it only on mobile app, or people can even access it on the laptop?
It's
As
just
a customer?
No, it's just a mobile app, because I think mobile apps are much simpler. You know?
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Now that's great. That's actually well articulated. I'll just ask you another question, which I'm more interested to hear your answer. What led you to think of creating such a project? As I've heard so far, it's actually a gap bridging project.
Yeah.
So what led you to think of creating such a project?
Well,
And by the way, it's timely.
yeah. Well, I think for some time, a lot of people, especially the women and businesses, have made markets like the Soweto Market a place where they procure most of their monthly commodities and business needs.
Yes.
So it's congested. We all know it's congested.
Yes,
And I think personally, I used to hate going there.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought maybe if I feel the same pain point, maybe a lot of people feel the same way, you know. But then how do we provide businesses to these customers, to these vendors, and how do we interlink the two? So basically it was more of avoiding the mud, the time that it takes to go to the Soweto Market, and the crowds and the theft and everything. So we thought, how can we make it more dynamic, robust, and just bring it out there and bridge the gap between the two. So it's more of crowds, floods, and just digitizing, because we need to move at a digital pace. I was talking to someone some time back, and they were asking me, why are you doing this? Why are you digitizing markets like the Soweto, Kasumbalesa, and other things? I told them, because they were saying the vendors are not, cannot access the technology, or are not very conversant with the technology.
Yes,
I thought, if it's not going to be now, then when?
When? Exactly,
So this is when we decided to say, okay, let's start with the project and see how we can put it together and make it more easier for the vendors to access a wider range of people, and for the people to access vendors from whichever market they want to buy from.
Perfect. My next question is, like I've actually explained, how is it accessible? How is the project accessible for your clients, like for people out there that to actually access the vendors? How accessible is the project?
So initially, the app is up and running as it stands right now. But initially, before the innovation program, the app itself was managed, meaning it was managed by us. So we would put prices on 2-3 day basis.
Okay.
But then we thought, how can we empower the vendors themselves?
Perfect.
So the app is accessible. However, we're making changes to the app to actually bring the vendors on board now. So the vendors, the customer, the common customer, will be interacting with the vendors themselves as opposed to us being, managing the orders.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
So as it stands right now, the app is up and running on App Store and Play Store.
Play Store. Oh,
Yeah.
Play Store. Okay. No, that's actually very good. You know, like I like your point, what you're trying to do, to bring in the vendors, so that it's easy for them to bring up the business that you're managing it, because obviously, with the volumes we'll be having, it might be very, 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 very difficult for you to always manage. But if the vendors can actually come there and actually meet and actually upload themselves there,
Yes.
it will actually be easy. And actually, I applaud you for actually having come up with such a move. Quickly ask you, like we spoke, you are one of the winners for the 2022 Zicta Innovation Challenge, which was in 2022. The 5 winners, actually, one of them. I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of the fourth. Yes.
Yeah.
So I just want to find out what you've learned or gotten from the 2022 Zicta Innovation Program Challenge.
Yeah.
Obviously, other than the prize and the award, what have you learned from there? Because I think it ran for almost 6 months.
6 months,
if I'm not mistaken. So I think there was a lot that was happening even in the challenge. You learned a lot.
Yeah.
So what was one of the few highlights?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, prior to the innovation program, our platform was managed.
Oh, yes.
So the Zicta Innovation Program brought in experts, right? They brought in people in industry leaders and other things, and they taught us marketing, pitching, and all those things, and just how to make a scalable and feasible project.
Okay.
So initially, like I said, it was managed, but then we had to cut down after talking to a few people and consulting, and then telling us, look, you need to create an impactful project, a project that actually impacts the society.
Okay.
So this is why we had to go back to the drawing board and, create a multi-vendor platform where it can actually empower the vendors in the marketplace to do that. So personally, I think I would call the Zicta Innovation Program a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
Because it's really taught us a lot on how to make a business more scalable.
Perfect.
The word is scalable there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure from the just discussion we've had, I can see some expansion. What expansions are you seeing to build on your project? Like, other than the bringing up the multi vendors, do you have any expansion to actually visit even other neighboring countries to actually, market your product?
So we've been thinking in these lines.
Okay.
People from KwaZulu-Natal are mostly Congolese.
Oh, okay, yes.
And people from Chanita border are mostly from Malawi.
Perfect.
Right?
Okay.
And this is a central point. So we thought, if we could one day just, if we can make the app as scalable as possible and target most of the markets in the country, these are the crowded markets, the most popular markets, like Chisokone, those. What we can do is that we can actually delve into the Congo, delve into Malawi, and delve into other neighboring countries.
Perfect.
Yeah, so an order will come from Malawi, and then from the nearest market there, from the nearest market from them, we can actually have that product delivered to them. So we have future plans around that.
Oh, perfect. I like that. Okay, this might be a subjective question. I see you spoke about people not believing that technology, especially people who believe, no, when I go to Soweto, maybe they don't use much of the technology. How have you seen your app to be easy to use? Because, again, that's one of the most important things. Mm-hmm. Is it user-friendly? For you, how would you put it at a scale of 1 to 10, how easy it is, especially you're dealing with a certain group that people believe are not into yes, and they don't really, they are based on the market and they don't really feel they can use the phone. But now, how have you made it so easy for them to tap in that kind of technology?
So as it stands right now, my team and I are trying to make both, not just the vendor app itself,
Okay.
because the vendor app, once they upload in the back end, and then it shows on the user app. All right.
Oh,
So it's two apps: the vendor app, the way Yango is, or
Oh, I see. I see.
yeah.
Okay.
So we are trying to make it as easy as possible for both platforms, not just the vendors themselves, but also the users.
Okay.
You know, back then when we were launching this, because we've had to change so many times, so people used to say, no, you know, the interface is very confusing. We had to change a bit of things. So just like it was back then, I think this is the same feedback we'll get with the vendors. If they feel it's too hard, we'll make a few changes in the back end. But our target is to make it as easy as possible, and for any vendors to understand. Because surprisingly, when I was having this conversation with someone, they were telling me, look, these vendors, they can't, you know, they're not very conversant with this technology. I said, which technology? Have you had time to sit with the vendors? Because most of them have smartphones.
Exactly.
You know? So if they can open WhatsApp, type a message, I think it's simple. If they can take a picture, it's simple, because those are the basics that actually are built into the app to make it more robust. So, you know, when a vendor wants to upload tomato, obviously there'll be a list already to say tomato, they'll click on it. But we will provide the necessary training in these markets to ensure that the vendors understand what they're doing. And our team, just because we've created this platform for the vendors and the, the consumers to meet, it doesn't mean we'll step away, because as Bargain Bay, what we need to do is that we need to interlink the two. Meaning we need to ensure that the product quality, if you buy beans and other things, rice, we need to ensure that that rice is actually very good quality before it actually hits your kitchen.
Okay. That's very good. But just maybe someone is asking, for now, the fact that you're telling me that you're telling us that you're bringing the vendors on. Have you come up with screening procedures for these vendors, especially that you'll be involved in the quality assurance? You've come up with some screening procedures to help get the right products to consumers.
Yeah. So there are two procedures. There's an internal procedure where, as we do the screening, to basically just get the information from the vendor, necessary information. And there's also a rating that will be applied to each vendor.
Great.
So if a vendor messes up, they get a poor rating, it means it's them. The algorithm will take them lower.
Exactly.
You get the idea. So also what we do is that based on the interactions we've had with the vendor, because prior to this, if a customer makes an order on the app, we would actually get commodities. The vendors have reached a point where they actually trust us with these commodities. So we can get commodities, take to the customer. If the customer doesn't like it, we fix it there and then. So what's going to happen is that when the customer pays through the platform, we temporarily hold that money for some time, so to ensure that those commodities are actually, it's not even going to last, it's not even 24 hours or 12 hours, no. It's just a couple of hours, maybe one or two, to ensure that those commodities actually, if the customer is happy, then we will we'll transfer that money to the vendors themselves.
Oh, powerful! Yeah. That's very good.
More of an escrow account.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. Actually, I like the screening procedure that you've actually brought up. Just when we're coming to the end of the program, I just wanted to maybe get your last words of encouragement for innovators that may have not won, and also the ones that may be in a similar competition. What words of encouragement would you actually give them?
I would say, in as much as most people, there were 60 startups, I believe, 60 startups, and Zicta, we were fortunate enough to be, the five of us were fortunate to be crowned winners. I would say, in as much as, most people didn't make it, I feel their projects had so much power to impact Zambia. And it could have been anyone, and it couldn't even have been me, So I feel if people have the right drive and they know the problem they're solving, if it's impactful and it's going to change lives, and it's also going to be profitable, because you're an entrepreneur, it's also going to be profitable. I feel you should pursue that and believe in yourself. Just submit your project and try to highlight how impactful the project is going to be to the common person.
All right, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Stula, and congratulations and best of luck with Bargain Bay.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, viewers. I'll see you next time.